Hi, how are you? Sucks. There. That's better. Hi, this is Tabitha Jane, and I wanted to come to you today and talk a little bit about narcissists, what they're about, my understanding based on my life experience, as well as some of the research I've done, and my perspective of being a person who was basically born into this mindset, the experience. So, again, this is Tabitha Jane, and let's just dive into it. So, if you're not familiar with the narcissists have a tendency. I'm going to refer to some notes here. No, I'm not. Narcissists, what I have come to understand, are deeply wounded, very, very insecure individuals. They experience traumas at some point in their life that left them so vulnerable, so internally weak, that the only way they could self-preserve is by externalizing, by basically denying the wound and the pain that is deep within themselves, and essentially overcompensating by externalizing everything and by trying to take control through the externalization. So what do I mean? Well, because like I said, I was born into a narcissist environment. I'm an empath, I'm intuitive, I'm very highly sensitive. And for me, this was my norm. My whole life, I never knew any different. So being put down and being ridiculed, being told my questions were stupid or my ideas were ridiculous, that my individuality as a person was irrelevant. I was trained that everybody else comes first, that I was really selfish when I wanted for myself, when I asked for something I needed. That was selfish of me, because why didn't I think of them first? And so I have a very different perspective from what I am hearing in like the mainstream, because of my ability to intuit and to be an empath. I actually do see the pain and the wounds inside of these individuals, and I don't see them as monsters or villains, intentionally out there sucking the life force out of people like me. Having said that, as I have in the last year gone through a lot of personal growth and development and a lot of stepping into my own power, I also see how the narcissist uses their various mind games, word games, manipulation to drain and deplete the energy of others. And that actually does build their energy and their life force. That's how they get their energy. And again, I don't see them as villains or monsters intentionally, or maybe that's just been my experience. All of the narcissists that I have encountered throughout the last 46 years of my life. I'm 47 now. So this, like I said, this last year, I've really stepped away and pulled back and done a lot of personal growth and personal development and just really soul searching and connecting deeply with God, with my higher source, with spirit. And it's given me a different perspective and insight than what I'm hearing. So a narcissist cannot look within to see the wound, because to do so shatters. And if you find yourself in the position of needing to control everything, and you find yourself the person that everything's happening to you, someone driving down the road cuts you off. Oh, they picked you out of all the other vehicles and all the other cars and all the other, lanes and all the other freeways and all the other moments of time just to pick on you. You might want to open up your mind and your concept just a little bit and just consider, maybe. Now, is it possible to heal? Yes. But here's the thing. For the narcissist, for the codependent, for the empath, for all of the parties, first of all, for the dynamics to actually work, you need all the different parts to come together. So for the narcissist to continue to have that power role, that control, the manipulation, they have to have someone that they can control, that they can manipulate, that they can drain energy from. Because where they're at now currently, with the wounds that are so deep within their soul, in their heart, in their inner child, they can't really generate their own energy. They can't feed their own source. So they have to have an energy source, whether it's a friend or friends, their circle of friends, whether it's, a spouse or a significant other, whether it's family members, whoever it is. They have to have a feeding source. They have to have an energy supply. And it comes through them elevating themselves, and they're like the what do I want to say, the banty rooster, they're the cock of the walk. Everybody else is inferior because they are so superior, and everybody else is so just less than. And nobody is as sick as them, and nobody works as hard as them, and nobody knows as much as them, and nobody is as capable as them, nobody's as strong as them, nobody is as religious as them, nobody else is as much as they are. And they have to have that less than source to feed the fuel of their arrogance, their pompousness, their overinflated sense of self. Because again, it's all external. So it takes both. So the person who's the food source, in order to not be a food source anymore, you have to go within you. You cannot change them. I mean, that's just the reality of life in any situation, circumstance. You have no control over anything around you. You have control within you. You have control of you. And when you change you, that is when you do change the external, but it comes from within. So when you when you go within yourself and you see your value, in spite of everything you're being told, you're not smart enough and you're not capable, and oh my God, you guys, you don't even know all the things I've been told, you know, that I'm a ditz and that I can't do these things, you know. I'm not safe. I have no street smarts. I have no awareness. I don't know. I don't. I can't. When you stop listening to all that, when you get tired of it, when you get fed up and you've said, like, enough is enough because damn it, I know what I know. You go in you and you go inside and you really start seeing who you are and what you're capable of, and you step into it and you own it. That's how you stop being a victim. That's how you stop giving your power away. That's how you stop giving away your energy. So now you're no longer a food source because you know what they're saying is BS. Does it do any good to call BS? No. We'll get more into that. But at this point, I just want to really focus on de-victimizing the codependent, the empath, the person who's the energy food source, okay? Let's get you healed. It's going into your heart center, going into the inner child. It's having those deep conversations within yourself, healing yourself, stepping into your power, and shutting out everything everybody else says and owning who you know you are. And it's a little intimidating, it's a little scary, and especially healing the wounded inner child can be really, it can be really intense, but it's totally worth it. So your ability to heal yourself and then take your own power back, step into your power, then you get to make a choice. Then you get to consciously choose. Because like I said, for someone like me, I was born into it. I had no clue. It was my norm. So I had no concept of even having an inner power and my own identity. I had no, that's never been a part of my programming. It was never meant to be. I was supposed to be subservient, basically an energy food source for those I encountered throughout my life. And that's what I was up until recently. Now, for the healing of the narcissist, I think it's essentially the same process. It's going within, realizing all the external stuff that you're displacing the blame on, all the fingers you're pointing. When you point out one finger, guess what? You got 3 more pointing back at you. There's a reason for that. All the time you're pointing your fingers at everyone else. They're not, they did this to me, this happened to me, oh, whoa. You know, I'm better than this, and I deserve better, and, you know, nobody's as smart as me, and all that. All the time you're pointing your fingers, you're reflecting back to you. And it's going to have to be going within. If you want to heal from this pattern, from this life cycle, it's going to be really intense and a lot. But I do believe, even though I don't hear anybody speak to it, I do believe it is capable. And like I said, the narcissists that I've known throughout my life, I do have empathy for. And there's still a few that I still have very deep love for. Because they have not been able to change within themselves, I have to limit my interactions with them as a form of self-preservation. That doesn't mean I don't feel for them, but I feel for myself more. And that's my choice. So I think this whole dynamic and how it originated, I mean, I can go on and on. I've got so much more in my head about all of this, but it's something that's just happened over generations and lifetimes, and it's been a compound effect, and it's built upon itself to the point to it is so prevalent and it is so normal in our society that oftentimes we don't even realize there's something seriously wrong with this dynamic. And when you step back and you realize that you're spending time with these people and you're giving them love and your support and you're nurturing, and you're being left after a 10-minute conversation, you're exhausted. That's not right. There's something wrong with that. You're watching the news. You're working with your boss. You're hanging out with your best friend. And instead of you building each other, that person leaves on a high and you leave dragging your ass, ready for a nap, just exhausted. That's not right. Those dynamics are not healthy. But they've been so prevalent, we don't even have an awareness. And so I wanted to bring this forward. I wanted to share this with you. I will be bringing more as it resonates within me, but I have a lot I don't know what I want to do. If I want to do a blog on this, if I want to write a book, I don't know. But I know from my own personal experience, and that's really with the core and the heart of what I can speak to regarding relationships with narcissists. And I will talk more about gaslighting because I've had a lifetime experience with that as well. So again, I don't have any fancy letters after my name, and I don't have any official book training education. I've just got the school of hard, what is it, the school of life, or the hard knocks of life. I mean, I've lived it my whole life. So that's what I can speak to, is my own experience and how I had that shift in awareness, and I started to see, and I've stepped into my power, and now I make choices. And if I choose to interact with those people, I do it consciously, understanding what I'm actually getting myself into, and what, if I want to protect myself with the interaction, or if I really want to succumb and give. But I get to consciously choose down, which is not something I ever had. I didn't have a choice because I didn't know. And that's what I want to create an awareness with you. So if I can help you or someone else you know, please do share this video. Feel free to reach out to me. I just think it's an awakening process. It's an internal process. It can be a very hard, intense process, but it is a very doable process, and the work is worth it, because when you realize and you step into your own power, that's just amazing. It really is. And like I said, it doesn't mean denying and cutting yourself off, but it does mean now you get to consciously choose, and that is priceless. So if I can help facilitate that journey for you, please do reach out to me. And again, this is Tabitha Jane. Thank you for your time today. Leave your comments, questions below. Go ahead, like and subscribe. Share this if you think it is of value to others, and I'll be bringing more content. And if you have questions, drop them so that I can share my insights, because right now I'm just kind of going with what comes to me as it comes to me. All right, you guys take care. Love you lots. Blessings, light, and love.